This is the QAV Code Red 5-inch frame. Now, when I got this, it was like $20 or $25 on Get FPV. I think it was like 20 bucks, and it was like on super sale. So, like, it was already on sale, and then it went on sale even further, I think, during the 12 days of Christmas sale that they had. And I was like, whatever, $20 frame. I've never had a bottom mounted or a battery on the bottom frame, like a racing style frame. I thought for 20 bucks, what the heck, right? So I picked this up, and I had already had the Lumenier Micro Lux V3 stack. That's the BL Heli 32 4-in-1 ESC and F4 flight controller. Teeny tiny little thing, and it's a 20 by 20, and I don't really have too many frames that would support that right out the gate. The CL1 supports it, but the holes are M2, and these come with M3, so that was kind of a bummer. And then my TBS Source 1, I didn't really want to honestly waste the stack on that because the frame's so much bigger. It just seemed like it was a mismatch, so I said, to heck with it. I'll put it on this since this frame is so light. It's unibody. Very, 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 very light, almost fragile feeling. And I ended up having to purchase the little TPU thing to mount the camera. And speaking of cameras, so there's my flight controller and ESC. I went ahead and picked up the Foxeer Aero Micro Pro 600 TV line, the black one. So I like Foxeer. I like RunCam. So I don't know. When it comes to cameras, I think this camera is pretty slick. It's a 1.8 millimeter, and to be perfectly honest with you, I like the camera quality. Hopefully you enjoy it in the footage that I'm throwing up here and there. The frame seems good enough. There are definitely some things where it is lacking. I think it is probably not very durable. I can't say for sure, as I've only crashed it on softer surfaces, but I would never fly this on concrete or over asphalt or anything like that. This just feels almost like a toothpick, if that can be said. And that's honestly kind of what I was going for when I made this. I was like, you know what? Toothpicks are cool, but they're really fragile, and it's just, I do micros and I do 5-inch. I don't really do anything in between, and it just seems like a whole nother set of things to buy, like props and things. So I still want to do 5-inch, but I didn't want to do anything like full size or, super duper heavy, and I don't really do racing. So I was like, well, let me try this, let's see what I can come up with. And so far, it's kind of cool. I've decided to only run it on 3S because the stack, while rated for 30 amp, I'm not convinced it could handle 4S over long periods of time. And I figured, what the hey, let's make this the ultralight, kind of slow, but floatier, if you will, build. Like I said, I wanted to sort of mimic the toothpick concept in a 5-inch form and using a racer frame to do it. And the motors I chose, I feel kind of represent that well, as they're super duper low KV. They're 2250. I mean, I guess for a 3S, 4S, it's not really, really low, but I think 2250 or 2300 KV is kind of a lower KV for, well, racing, which I don't do. Like I said, I think you do 25, 2600 or something, but these are about 2250 KV. They're Xylo motors. What drew me to them was a sale, again, the 12 days of Christmas sale, and I got them for, it was less than $15 a motor. I'll put links in the description for what they are now, but I want to say they're about 15 to 20 bucks a motor now. What I really like about these is how light they are. They are so light compared to almost every other motor I have, and I thought, wow, that's kind of neat. We'll just kind of have a theme here. We have a really light frame, we have a really small camera, we have a really small stack, and really light motors. We'll put them all together on this one frame. I had the part sitting here for a while, and I thought, let's give this a shot. One of the things I noticed immediately with bottom mounting batteries is it's got like a pendulum effect. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'd never flown bottom mounted before. So when I got out there, and it was like, it really wanted to like center itself down. And these are 1500 milliamp 3S packs. They're not that heavy. And I just found it so incredible that when I do rolls and flips, how badly this thing just wanted to center itself. And so I thought, well, that's kind of an interesting characteristic, because racers are probably not doing a lot of acro, right? They're probably doing a lot of forward and turns and rolls, and not too much in the flips and, trying to hit, different tricks and stuff. They're really just trying to stay on track, hit the gates, and move forward. what little I know about racing FPV. So, you know, I was like, I guess I could understand why they would like that center of gravity, but it was just such a weird feeling for me the first time I flew it, because I was like, wow, this is just so awkward, the way it just keeps wanting to set itself down in the middle. So that was kind of interesting, but I really do like the way these motors respond, even in the lower RPMs of the 3S voltages and the lower KV combo. I don't know. I think it just feels it's a really unique experience when I fly it. It's not like super duper fast or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's satisfying. It really is. It's like the best of both worlds. It's like flying a micro. It really does kind of feel like flying a micro, but obviously with a lot more power to back it up in the battery. So that's kind of nifty. I paired the motor with the 4.8 by 3.8 by 3 Johnny Freestyle Azure props, and obviously I won't just have those props on it forever, but with as little as this thing crashes, the props are, they're only going to get changed if they get damaged, and I've got a bunch of these. So as far as the props go, the reason I chose these is because they're just slightly shorter than 5-inch because of the curve that they have, so they're 4.8-inch. And what I have found is, while 5-inch will fit on this, it definitely gives me a little bit more clearance when it comes to the frame, as this is just a very small 5-inch frame, and this is like the limit of 5-inch, at least in the front. So there's a very small gap when it comes to where the prop blade is and the front of the frame. So I don't know, just something to think about if you're ever going to build something like this. I could not find hardly anybody using these for 5-inch. There's a 3-inch version of this that seems like is very popular, but the 5-inch version, not so much. As far as VTX goes, I grabbed the smallest VTX I had, and that was the Eachine VTX 02. It was like a $10 VTX. And strangely enough, it actually performs really well. It's got this little dipole antenna, and I've mounted the VTX up underneath this little tab here that's actually meant for like the antenna. And I just routed the receiver, which is the FlySky XBS, I think, or whatever. It's this little small FlySky iBus receiver. I mounted those antennas through there, and then I put the dipole antenna from the VTX, which is actually right underneath of it, right through there, and I just put some of that wire guard stuff and zip tied it, and it's working. It's actually doing a pretty good job. I don't fear the props chewing up my antennas too much, and I've hit the ground a couple of times with it, and it seems okay. It's so light. Really just kind of impressed with how it flies, though, considering I wasn't expecting much from it at all, as these were kind of just parts I had, and I was like, I don't really know what to do with the combination here. I mean, where am I going to put 2250 motors? I'm a 2400 guy, so I like lower KV for freestyle on 4S, but I didn't want to really put these on a 4S build. I just felt like that was kind of a waste with 2250. So again, I was like, I got these motors, let's try this out. And as far as the camera and the stack and everything else, seems pretty legit. So if you're interested in building something like this, like I said, I'll link everything that I bought for it in the description. And obviously you don't have to go 1-to-1, but I could not find people doing 5-inch versions of this, even though there is this frame, even on roto builds. So I don't know. I just figured I'd make a video about it because I thought it would be kind of cool. So hopefully you enjoyed it, enjoy the flight footage, and check me out in the next one. Thank you for watching.